Hey everyone! So I hope you guys have been having fun with the current version. The summer event and the new bosses have been pretty entertaining, along with Ashura's throne. But I won't be talking too much about Ashura's throne gameplay. I'll just play it in the back while I talk about the upcoming changes Honkai Impact 3 is gonna face, particularly how the changes will relate to the channel. Recently, I did the overview videos for the Ashura of Reason and Void Drifter, and you guys dropped some really nice comments in those videos. Thank you guys so much for that. I hope the videos remain helpful moving forward. And why I say that is because if you don't already know, there's going to be a new tier in the Memorial Arena, which is currently being tested in the Chinese version's 3.4 beta. They're still tweaking it, so a lot isn't finalized, but essentially, it'll be the same scoring format with the same bosses, but the bosses are going to have like 3 times HP. That's just a rough gauge. Nothing's finalized at this point. Along with that, level 85 will be the new level cap for captains who have broken through the level limit. That's also an issue I wanted to address because back when we first got the level limit raised to 82, some players asked if we encountered any difficult situations, and I said no, because there really weren't any significant changes. But when version 3.4 hits, all players who have done the breakthrough will get their level cap raised to level 85. I don't know if there will be an option to revert to level 80, but I think it's highly unlikely. So yeah, with the way things are, it seems like even veteran players might score around the range of like 28,000 in the Memorial Arena, but of course the rewards are going to be awesome. Anyway, as you can tell, the ramifications of the version 3.4 update are going to be huge. That may also change the way we look at some Valkyries, because a lot of the Memorial Arena teams right now are based on single rotation builds, which won't be possible in the new tier. So Valkyries that are able to maintain their damage over a longer duration, like maybe Flame Sakitama, will come back into being the stronger options like they were before. I had a discussion with players who are at different levels of gameplay, and what I can do with the overview videos is to, well, basically stick to the current format. Which is essentially presenting the fundamentals of the Valkyrie, and not necessarily including all possible equipment and team combinations, but giving players the general impression of the Valkyrie to help them piece together a better set for themselves. And I think the version 3.4 beta has shown me that that's the way to go about doing these videos, because as much as I'd like them to be all-inclusive, the way the content is being released doesn't really allow it. For example, Void Drifter is getting her signature weapon and likely signature Stigmata set in version 3.4. There's also a new F2P set called the Rasputin set, which is basically the powered down version of the Veltyoung Stigmata set. I'm sure they're gonna nerf it a little, but currently the T part provides probably an unrestricted 10% total damage multiplier and another 10% total damage on frozen or slowed enemies. I say probably because it should be around 10 to 15%, haven't seen it at its max stats yet. The M part provides ice damage at certain combo counts. So for 10 combo, you get 20% ice damage, and at 30 combo and above, you get 40% ice damage. And finally, the B part, 30% unrestricted ice elemental damage, and an additional 15% on switch in for 10 seconds with a 20-second cooldown. The 2 set provides unrestricted total damage multiplier, but not sure how much yet because the text isn't really properly written at this point in time. And 3 set provides 18% ice damage for 6 seconds after a combo or charge attack is used. Then there's also speculation that the Abyss type stages will get their new tier in version 3.5. So with all these additions happening, having an all-inclusive overview is basically impossible. Instead, the objective of these videos would be to provide an unopinionated look at the battlesuit, its skills, and some basic suggestions on how it fits into teams and how to equip them. And then from there, hopefully, players are able to use that fundamental knowledge to keep up with each update that comes our way. So that should be more efficient than having to release an updated overview every time a major update hits. For now, I'll be covering the less commonly used Valkyries, starting with Valkyrie Blade Strike and Striker Fulminata. I don't think Valkyrie Blade Strike alone warrants an entire video, so I'll cover both battlesuits since they're basically the same thing, but Fulminata is literally just the augmented version. Unlike Valkyrie Ranger and Void Drifter, where it actually changes up the Valkyrie almost entirely. So I'll stick to other less commonly used Valkyries along the way, and then we should get to version 3.4, at which point we can, for one, see how relevant the existing overview videos manage to stay, and secondly, proceed to cover the Valkyries of that version and continue covering the other more commonly used Valkyries. Yeah, so that's pretty much what I wanted to update you guys on. I hope to be able to cover all battlesuits. At this point, there are 46 battlesuits, and I have covered 2. Yeah, so I will of course cover major additions like new equipment or sometimes major tweaks to certain battlesuits, but maybe not like additions to the base stats, because those additions are usually updating the older Valkyries so that they can keep up with the current Valkyries. So only if the stat change is significant to the point where the Valkyrie is now able to join or create certain strategies that it wasn't before, then yeah, other than that, it'll just be in like patch notes and stuff. One last thing I'd like to add is that I'm doing this overview thing with a lot of advice from other players who know the game inside and out, and I'm getting multiple perspectives before piecing stuff together, because first of all, one player can't possibly cover all the information needed in a short amount of time, especially when we're talking about 46 battlesuits. Also, the advice I get the most is that these overviews shouldn't be swayed by personal bias or opinion. They should be objective, because the goal is to help other players find their preferences. If you find a Valkyrie isn't able to contribute in the Memorial Arena, for example, but find its other abilities useful, then I don't see why that should be overlooked. And that's the ultimate goal, to show as much of the Valkyrie and its possibilities for the player to really judge for themselves, and equip the player with the necessary information to, well, play the game. Alright, so that's all I wanted to update you guys on. As always, if there's anything else you'd like to know, please feel free to ask. Thanks for watching, and I will see you guys soon.
ドローニャ、戦場に到着しました。目標ロックオン。第0系戦隊エリア制圧完了。目標を排除します。排除。